Right, peeps, this is a reply about what has happened today. Plaid Cymru have voted with Labour and they pushed the motion through, because if they hadn't have pushed it through, it would have had to have happened next year, and probably it wouldn't have got through because Reform MPs would be in there. So they had to get it through, and they've basically been involved since the start of designing this new SFS scheme with Welsh Labour. So the NFU of Wales sided with them, and they never did anything, never said anything. And in his speech, one of the Plaid Cymru members said he's listened to the NFU of Wales. Now, if they did do that, they are insane. If this hadn't gone through, it would have been sent back, it had been revised, and come back to the chamber and been voted on again to get it properly done. So this is what I think about it, the Judas of Plaid Cymru. Let's be honest about what we witnessed today in Wales. This wasn't a surprise. This wasn't an accident. This was the moment the mask finally slipped. For years, Plaid Cymru have strutted around pretending they're the voice of rural Wales, pretending they stand with farmers, pretending they understand our communities. But today, in the biggest agricultural vote in 25 years in Wales, they showed their true colours. Plaid Cymru designed this scheme with Labour. They've been involved from the very start. They want this scheme, and today they voted for it. End of story. That's where they're from. They are with Welsh Labour. They are the uni party. All this time they played the act. Oh, we're worried about the tree planting rules. Oh, we're concerned about the habitat demands. Oh, we're listening carefully to farmers. No, they weren't. That was political theatre. That was political performance. Because when the moment came to protect Welsh farmers, when the vote actually mattered, they sided with Welsh Labour without hesitation. And it proved something many of us suspected for years. Plaid Cymru doesn't represent farmers in Wales. They represent environmental pressure groups. They represent urban activists. They represent their own ideological bubble, not rural Wales. The reality they won't admit. Here's a truth Plaid Cymru will never say out loud, because it completely destroys their excuse for voting with Labour today. If they had voted against the regulations today, the scheme would not have collapsed. It would simply have been sent back to the Senedd for adjustments. That's how devolved legislation works. A rejected regulation must be rewritten, reconsidered, corrected, adjusted to address the concerns raised. And because we were heading towards a UK general election and a Welsh election next year, a revised version would have been brought forward after the next Welsh election, when the political landscape would have been very different. Farmers would have had leverage. Pressure would have been put on Labour to fix the mistakes. Cross-party support would have mattered, and the scheme would have been improved or slowed down without harming support payment. But Plaid didn't want that. They weren't interested in improvements. They weren't interested in fixing the flaws. They weren't interested in giving farmers time. Instead, they rushed it through today with Labour, closing the door on any chance of changes before the election. Their excuse that this doesn't guarantee a future funding is a smokescreen. The truth is they had the power to demand improvements, and they refused to use it. They can wear flat caps, they can stand in the farmyards for photos, they can tweet supportive words, but today the vote shows precisely where their loyalty lies. Not with us, not with the family farms in Wales, not with the young people trying to get into agriculture, not with the rural communities. Their loyalty lies with the environmental groups and political forces pushing this agenda, and today they proved it beyond question. Now let's talk about NFU Cymru. If Plaid are using NFU Cymru as political cover for their decision, then Welsh farmers deserve answers. The NFU backed Labour at the last election. They sat at the table during the design of the scheme. They were part of the process from the beginning. And when farmers needed them most during consultations, during protests, during the panic over tree cover requirements and habitat rules, they said almost nothing of substance. They actually hid out of sight, and now they're in partnership with Plaid Cymru. Farmers marched, farmers pleaded, farmers asked for clarity. And what happened? Polite statements. closed door meetings, nothing that stopped this, nothing that forced change, nothing that held the government accountable. And now Plaid claim the NFU told us to vote for it. Well, if that's true, the NFU has some explaining to do, because no union worth anything should be given political cover for a vote that allows the BPS to taper to zero, scraps young farmers' payments, gives Labour the power to force SFS through, all before the full details of the scheme are there. They don't exist yet. And if Plaid are lying and the NFU never said that, then Plaid are hiding behind the NFU to mask their own betrayal. Either way, this is not representation, this is not leadership, this is not what rural Wales deserves. This looks like a political gang looking after itself. The wider machine, Labour, Plaid, media and the approved narrative. Just look at the media coverage in Wales, how much of it truly represents farmers. How much of it challenges the government agenda? How much of it exposes the impact on rural communities? Instead, we see a cosy circle. Government, activists, friendly media, certain organisations all pushing the same message, all ignoring people who actually feed the country. Farmers are treated as a nuisance, a problem, something to manage, something not to support. And today's vote proves exactly that. But here's what they didn't expect. Wales cannot survive without its farmers. Our communities cannot survive. Our food security cannot survive. Our landscape cannot survive. And after today, one thing is crystal clear. We cannot trust Plaid. We cannot trust Welsh Labour. We cannot depend on the NFU. We cannot depend on the National Farmers Union of Wales. And we certainly can't trust the Welsh media to tell the truth. The only people left who genuinely care about Welsh farming are Welsh farmers. Us, people who get up in the dark, the people who work in the storms, the people who fight rising costs, cheap imports and clueless politicians, the people who actually feed this country. This is the turning point. If there's one good thing that comes out of today, it's this. Every farmer in Wales now sees clearly who truly is on their side. No spin, no excuses, no pretending. The mask has slipped. The truth is out. From this moment on, farmers will remember today, rural Wales will remember today, and the political consequences will come, with voices, with votes, and with a united rural community that has finally woken up to what's been done in its name, and that is the Judas of Plaid Cymru. Plaid Cymru, the Judas. Unbelievable. They didn't really even stick up for farming, because I listened to them talking on there. They basically hid behind the NFU of Wales, and I don't know if the NFU of Wales advised them, well, they want their head examined, and they're always on the wrong side. They were the ones who voted with Welsh Labour, who put through the inheritance tax. They're simply next to useless. What other union have you seen in the UK that would do this sort of a thing? Voting with a government. Every other type of industry in the UK or Wales has proper unions, not this nonsense. The Judas, a lot of them. So anyway, if you vote for Plaid Cymru and you're a farmer in Wales, you need a head examinations. So there we are, over and out, because Gaz ain't that happy.